Welcome to Uccello's for today's media luncheon. Our players, Deonte Hurst and Heath Parling, with head coach Matt Mitchell in the middle. Coach, if you can talk about the Michigan Tech game, and we'll move on to Findlay.
Credit to Michigan Tech for coaches and players for understanding the importance of that game and coming out and executing well in the first half. Defensively, with where we're at a little bit on this team, we got to step up, get the job done. And we didn't get the job done as a defensive unit. We on the first drive they went right down the field passing it on us, and really didn't get much pressure on the quarterback and didn't play great man coverage. We take the ball down the field offensively. Knew we were going to have to get kind of aggressive given the start of the game, and I wanted our team to be in attack mode. Missed a block on fourth down on a run by Heath, which resulted in us getting off the field. We get a 3-and-out, and then we rough the punter. They get the ball back, execute a trick play well. It's 14-0 really before we're settled in, and then second play on the next drive offensively, guy trips, we throw a pick, and they come back down and score again. So basically, between special teams penalties, turnover on offense, poor defensive play, you're down 21-0 right away. So overall defensively, we were poor against the run. I thought our defensive line did a good job of being 1/11th of the defense. We were not good at the linebacker level. We struggled with our linebackers fitting up the run properly, didn't get the job done from that perspective, and just way too many rushing yards for Michigan Tech against that type of team. So we, hindsight being 2020, probably focused a little bit too much as a defensive staff on trying to stop Tyler Scarlett and some of the passing things that they did with Brandon Cowie, and didn't focus enough on stopping the run, and the run is what did us in. So offensively, when we protect our quarterback, Heath's throwing the ball well in the 5-step passing game. Against that front, when you get down like that, they're able to dial up a lot more pressure and come after you. The way that you combat that type of defense, you have to have balance and running the ball, passing the ball. Once the score got to the point where we could no longer really maintain much offensive balance, they were able to tee it up, bring some pressure, and really get after us and work to our disadvantage. So, again, we lost the game. All three phases were responsible for that loss. We didn't get much done in the special teams end of things, but with like I said in the opener, with where we're at our defense got to come out and play. We're ready to understand what type of ball game that was potentially going to be, and perform to that level. We didn't do that. We didn't do that on that side of the ball. So very frustrating given where we've been the last three games. Obviously, it's a big step back, and had to get the guys in there on Sunday and talk about a lot of things between the white lines and a few things outside the white lines, and get this group refocused. The next most important thing for Grand Valley football is the contest that we got Saturday at Findlay. And so our focus will be on preparation for that and putting our kids in a position to have an opportunity to go out and make some plays. And we got to get some energy, some excitement, some enthusiasm in the Findlay contest. We didn't have much of that on Saturday because of the way the thing was going down. So we got to get off to a good start and play some Grand Valley football. We're not playing Grand Valley football at this point in time, and obviously a lot of that's on me. So we got to get back to that and make sure that happens, and lean on our assistant coaches and lean on our seniors and some of our upperclassmen in our program to get the thing steered in the right direction. So regarding Findlay, it's not going to be easy down there. I know you look at their record and you see that, but this is an offense that's very explosive. Look at the league stats of the 16 teams. Offensively, they're putting up a lot of points. I believe, hopefully I'm right, I think they're number one passing offense in our conference at this point in time. I think Verlon Reed is an excellent quarterback. He's dropped down from Ohio State. You can see that in terms of his athleticism. He's only been sacked 2 times in 7 games. It's impossible, really, when you get back there. He's tough for one guy to bring down, and he's throwing the ball, very well. At the running back position, Daquan Ford had a really explosive year last year. Nagliak, he had an injury and is still coming back from the injury. You can see the flashes. And then they've got a redshirt freshman named a true freshman named Chauncey Bridges, who's really been electric in some of the games I've seen. So they're extremely balanced on offense. If you look at first down, they're 50-50 run pass. They have a lot of concepts and schemes that complement each other. A lot of their passes or play action passes set up off the run game. That's another reason why they don't give up many sacks. They don't drop back, in the pocket. They do a lot of things based off the run game, which is difficult. So defensively, if you look at one of the sides of the ball that, is maybe not at the level the other side is, defensively they've given up some points. They've played some good teams. They played Ferris State. And gave up some points. Obviously, Hillsdale was able to move the ball on them. Ashland put up some points. So, we've got to go out offensively and not turn the ball over, and we got to try to, produce some points. And defensively, this is going to be a big test. I mean, they have a lot of athletes. You look at all their players. I didn't even mention Lloyd Henry, who I think is the all-time leading receiver now for Findlay in the history of their program. I mean, you're talking about athletes at every position group they have. So we're being under some duress from a defensive standpoint. We got to, get the job done. So another road game against a quality opponent that at one point was ranked in the top 25, and is one where we got to. There's no rest here. We got to bounce back and get after it. It's going to be a team that is going to be at home, and they're 3-1 at home, and is obviously going to be very excited to get back at Findlay and play. So, questions?
Matt, and talking about Sunday, you said you met with the team and you talked a little bit about what you guys need to do inside the lines as well as outside the lines without having a playoff possibility or a GLIAC possibility. What did you guys talk about, and what's the goals? What's success from here?
Well, I said the playoffs are dead. That's over. That's done with. So at this point, it's more about, there's things we focus on between the white lines in terms of our execution, our technique, a lot of the football-related matters. When it comes to an overall attitude and approach, it's important that our head coach, our assistant coaches, and the seniors in our program, the guys that have been there before, like a lot of these guys, played in a national semifinal and understand the culture of Grand Valley football. We have to maintain those standards and maintain that culture within our building. Playing for Grand Valley, there's still a lot of history and tradition that means something. That has to mean something to these guys, and it's upon them these last 4 games to make sure that foundation and those pillars are established, and that younger players in our program understand those core values, that culture, the sense of urgency that is necessary. So a lot of the extrinsic things are gone by our own fault, and now it's more about some of the things that you don't see on paper, some of the things that happen behind the scenes. Those are the things that we all have to focus on at this point. And so when I mention a lot of things that are outside the white lines, that's kind of what we're referencing is more the culture and the habits and the tradition that we have within our building. And we've got to, make sure that those are intact moving forward. And I don't question that they won't be, given the type of, like a couple of these guys I'm flanked with and some other guys, I mentioned the team meeting. Isaiah Dunning played hard and is playing and has embraced his senior year. And we've got other guys, or Matt Mosley. I can go through a lot of our seniors that have done a great job being leaders and are really steering the ship. And I don't think there's going to be any problems with that, because I know the character and the values of the guys we have at the top end of our program, and they'll make sure that happens the next 4 weeks.
Heath, can you address that a little bit too? From a player's perspective, where you're at right now, what are some of the goals, and how does your role maybe change a little bit from here?
Where we're at right now, obviously disappointment and frustration, but I guess moving forward, kind of just adding on what Coach Mitchell said, like the future of this program still means something to me and, Deonte Hurst and Isaiah Dunning. Like, just because we're not going to be here in the future still means something. So these next 4 games, if maybe we can have some sort of impact on that future by playing hard, continuing to try to win games, then, that's what we're going to do. So we're not going to give up. We're not going to roll over. It's disappointing. I wish we were somewhere else in our season, but, the fact of the matter is we're not. So, but you don't give up, just football, just as in life, you just keep playing, keep fighting, and, something good will come of it, hopefully. So.
And Deonte, just as far as creating that energy, that enthusiasm, how do you guys, as a senior class, how do you make that happen from here on out?
Well, we got a lot of great senior leadership on the defensive side of the ball. We just got to keep it going, keep it up. We just got to create our own atmosphere at times when we don't have it at all. we're going to be motivated still. You know, we still want to finish the season out strong as we can. Knowing that the playoffs are out of the question right now, it's just kind of building the younger guys up, giving them the confidence, try to continue the tradition here. Just still learning and getting better every day.
Matt, might there be a few changes, you know, from this point on, where you might take a look at some player where perhaps you hadn't before, roles defined, changed a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's short-term things to look at and there's long-term things to look at, and we address those kind of as staff. I don't, you know, short-term, our focus is on Findlay and what do we need to do over the course of the next, 3 days of preparation, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to give us a chance, an opportunity to beat Findlay. And so, you know, I don't view at this point. I mean, again, there's some things obviously we'll look at short-term to try to beat Findlay. I'm not going to really probably go into those because that gives us a disadvantage from a competition standpoint for me to spill all those out on the table. And then, you know, we are going to focus on that and focus on this team, the 2014 team. And then obviously at the end of the season, from a long-term standpoint, you've got to evaluate everything and take a look at the long-term and, reflect back upon what are the factors and variables that put you in a position where it is what it is. We are 3-4. How did we get to that point? And so I don't think that a Monday of the Findlay week is a time to start to doing a lot of reflection upon that. I think that some of those things need to happen within the context of looking back upon the whole season, and that's something that individually and collectively as a program will happen when the season's over.
Okay, thanks, guys.